metal. When you're ready to jump again, your best goal. Engines roar, the dirt flies thick, steel beats rumble, tires grip slick, mud tattoos, the side panels raw, wheel to wheel, no room for a fall. Throttle pit, hearts pound like bass, slide through the corner, a deadly embrace, chasing that checkered, sweat stain dream, the track screams out of that midnight scheme. Wheel to wheel, kings of the clay, dust clouds rising, night turns to day. Lap by lap, we live for the thrill, chasing glory, powered by will. Wheel to wheel, kings of the clay, dust clouds rising, night turns to day. Lap by lap, we live for the thrill, chasing glory, powered by will. Tango, red light dancing, the tack don't lie, spitting gravel, carving the sky, hustle the corners, whip it wide, late model demons, drift and glide, chrome on chrome, a battlefield clash, sparks kiss the ground in a fiery flash, no surrender, no breaks to be found, victory's hymn in that deafening sound. Wheel to wheel, kings of the clay, dust clouds rising, night turns to day, lap by lap, we live for the thrill, chasing glory, powered by will. Wheel to wheel, kings of the clay, dust clouds rising, night turns to day, lap by lap, we live for the thrill, chasing glory, powered by will. Kings of the clay, kings of the clay, kings of the clay. Will to will, 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 kings of the kick the back toe. When you're ready to jump again, your best goal. Engines roar, the dirt flies thick, steel beats rumble, tires grip slick, mud tattoos, the side panels raw, wheel to wheel, no room for a fall. Throttle pit, hearts pound like bass, slide through the corner, a deadly embrace, chasing that checkered, sweat stain dream, the track screams out of that
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome in as we get ready to rock and roll here this evening from the beautiful dirt track at Charlotte. As these drivers get ready to duke it out, they get ready to go to battle. Qualifying underway right now as my boy Martin Long in the chat says hello, good afternoon. Good afternoon, Martin. Hopefully you're having yourself a wonderful evening. Logan Perriman says, yo, Peacemaker, I'm going to try and get the poll for you. Unfortunately, coming up just a little bit shy, but it was worth the try there. You know, the thought that counts. You know, as Logan right now currently sits in about the 7th position here in qualifying. As Aiden says, that poll's for you, baby. I appreciate that. Well, Aiden, you did have the poll for a little bit. Unfortunately, Matthew Wood has taken that pole position away from that 34 ride. We still got Keegan Huey out there. Looks like his qualifying attempt is going to be over, but he jumps up into about the 8th position here in qualifying. As Jackson Branscombe in the chat says, don't listen to him. I'm going to win it for you and Ronnie, old son. Let's go. Hey. Listen, we want to see all you guys win the poll, but you know, it's a lot tougher than it looks. You gotta lay down a really good quick lap time to beat some of these drivers, man. Some very talented cats out there on the racetrack, but it should set us up for a great day of racing action as our heat races will come up next. Now, technically, the A main feature event poll is still on the line through our heat races. If you're in heat race number 1, you at least get an opportunity, a chance here to try and win that heat race and put yourself into the pole position for that A main here this evening. As qualifying quickly coming to a close here, looks like at least 10 of our drivers have gotten some lap times in, still waiting on a few of them to try to lay some laps down. As Martin says, oh yeah, he says, I am good today. Is my birthday. Today is your birthday, brother. Happy mother fluffing birthday, Martin. Martin, happy birthday, man. Hopefully you had yourself a wonderful, wonderful birthday and beautiful Sunday afternoon here. And, you know, another year older, another year wiser, and hopefully another amazing year to come for all of your, you know, adventures and growth and everything else, as not only a new year for your birthday, but obviously a new year for everyone else, man. Welcome back in for the Wheel to Wheel Racing League, their first time back in action here in 2026. So we're happy to see these guys back in attendance, ready to rock and roll, ready to rumble and lay down some, you know, more big days here at the Speedways. Martin says, thank you, sir. Appreciate it. I got you, brother. He says, the big 25, the big 2-5. Oh, man. I feel old now. Thinking, you know, 25, man, to be 25 again, that would be amazing, man. I mean, my 20s are not long gone, but they're definitely behind me now, and crazy to think that, man, I'm already 31. Oh, I'm so old, chat. Oh, 31. Oh, man, being 25, though, man, that'd be great. Do things over again, man. Actually, honestly, to be like 18 or 19 again, something around there. Getting started in this earlier would have been way, way better. You know, pre-COVID, getting in on streaming content and doing things here with broadcasts and iRace and everything else, man. I wish I would have got into it a whole lot sooner than what I did. But nonetheless, we're going to get ready to rock and roll as we see who starts on pole here. Quickest in qualifying was that number 17 ride of Matthew Wood. Wood will start in the pole position. To his outside in the 119. That is that beautiful hooker harness. Beautiful number 119 of Michael Durham Jr., who will start in position number 2. Starting in the 3rd spot in the Hooker Trucking LLC number 5 ride, that is the Capital Waste Machine of Virgil Perriman. To his outside in the 99 ride, that is Logan Perriman. Starting in position number 5 in the Majula Say Speed Shop, number 28 machine, that is Trent Johns. Into his outside in the number 23 machine, it is Ryan Haller. So we got 6 drivers ready to rock and roll here. I do believe it is 20 laps here, actually 25 laps for our heat race. Looks like 25 laps here for our heat race this afternoon. So a little extra time, a few more laps here for these drivers to try to figure their way out to the front, try to put themselves into a good position to start this feature event this afternoon as the pace truck will make that hard left-hand turn back down pit road. And here we go, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, our first green flag of the 2026 season for the Wheel to Wheel Racing League is the green flag quickly into the air for Matthew Wood. Wood with a great launch, great start, quickly trying to open up a bit of a gap between himself and that 119. Michael Durham Jr. is Michael right there in tow, trying to hang with them, but it's all Matthew Wood here in our opening lap as he will lead the way in that 17 ride. So Matthew Wood out in front. Durham is trying to hunt him down as Virgil Perriman, Logan Perriman back there in third and fourth as everybody sticking right where they started. And unfortunately for Ryan Haller, he's a little farther back here trying to get the handle on this 23. Ryan trying to figure out this beautiful dirt track at Charlotte, hoping that he can try to race his way up here towards the front of the field. As Matthew, nice and easy, back down across the start-finish line, will click off another lap here and lead the way after 3 hard-fought laps here at the dirt track at Charlotte. Now starting to open up a little bit of an early advantage here. Now with this being about 25 laps for our, heat races, it starts to bring in a little bit of that tire wear. Now, this track is tacky. There is a lot of areas they can move around, kind of be patient, and right now, obviously, that inside lane is going to be that preferred groove. As this kind of keeps going on with only 6 drivers, I don't think we're going to see it get worn in enough that drivers are going to start really moving around too much. Even trying to roll that middle to outside lane, I think is going to be slower than trying to hog those infield tractor tires and try to keep it pinned down on the bottom side. And that's exactly where you see Matthew Wood finding the speed, finding that gear to just really start to open up. A big lead here is now out to a 1.5 second gap between himself and the 5 right as Virgil Perriman jumps up into second. We saw Durham go up into kind of that outside groove. He was trying to dip his toes into it. Unfortunately, now they're getting a little squirrely there. They're tight together. They kind of get a little loose, and all of a sudden we see them kind of fall back a little farther as Durham still just trying to hang on to it. The 99 right of Logan Perriman trying to jump up there as we do see Ryan Haller going to fall a lap down here early on. Obviously, Haller just trying to get the handle of this car. Obviously, struggling a little bit here. Obviously, a car a little bit of a wild animal. Now you see him tight, washing up the racetrack, and I'm not sure if something may have broken in that 23 Ryan or something may have gone wrong here for Ryan Haller, but right now, obviously, just cannot get this thing set into the corners and just really having a hard time trying to get it to roll in there. He's really kicking it in there wide. I'm not sure what the game plan is here. You just got to kind of stick on the throttle and kind of roll it into the corner, maybe even middle of the corner. You start to really pull it hard a little bit to the left and maybe just let the car drift around. Right now, he's kind of just straight shooting it in there. Now he sees our race leaders coming, get stopped on the racetrack, and he will tow that thing down pit side and off the speedway. So I'm not sure if there was damage, if there was something with his steering wheel. Obviously some sort of a struggle early on for that number 23. But for Matthew Wood, man, he's just a missile again here this afternoon. Now out to a 2.6 second lead after qualifying in the pole position here in the qualifying session, just showing that he's got the speed. I mean, does he have the pace here for this first heat race? And so far, halfway through it, he's looked pretty much locked in here this evening as Virgil Perriman back there just trying to stick with him, trying to stay in second here, hope to see if maybe he can find a little something, maybe learn kind of what Matthew Wood is doing, but really he's kind of fallen back far enough that he may not really get a good look at the line that Matthew Wood is able to roll. As Martin says, I'm going with the number 17 and 119. It says Mr. Wood is out of there, just chilling on the racetrack. Yeah, he is out for a nice little Sunday cruise here in heat racing number 1 as Virgil Perriman hanging on to second here. Michael Durham Jr., he's been a bit of a dogfight back here for that third, fourth position. Him and Logan Perriman, they've been going back and forth, and once again, you see Perriman get to the outside of that 119. He's going to shoot it down low, slides up in front of him, a little slide job down through quarter number 3 and 4, and here comes one back down in into 1 and 2. As Pearman and Durham putting on a great show here back in that 3rd and 4th position. Trent Jones getting a great look at it. He is the 5th car in line here, but he is getting a great look at this fight. Obviously, he has a bit of a dirty visor. Should probably clean that thing off because I don't know how in the world he's seeing out of it. But man, this Majula Say Speed Shop Wild Side Ride is looking beautiful here this evening. But out in front, it's all Matthew Wood as Wood. Nice and easy. Back down the back straightaway here. He's going to head back down into corner 3 and out of 4. He will click off lap number 20 here in heat race number 1. So only 5 more laps left to go here in our first heat race of the day as I don't know how you want to pronounce it. Filzer maybe? PH1SHR says, lot of laps tonight. Yeah, a lot of laps tonight. A lot of laps, a lot of time for these drivers to try to work their way through the, through the action, through, a lot of the traction out there as we're going to continue to see this racetrack kind of carry over. It's going to continue to change, but with minimal cars out there on the speedway, got to imagine here in this heat race, even the start of our feature event, if the track carries over, the middle groove is going to start to probably come in through this heat race and the next heat race. By the time we get midway through that feature event, we're going to be up against that outside fence and really running that wall and pounding these laps back a little bit more. Single file as it's Fisher. Okay, Fisher. Okay, I figured it was something like that. I wasn't sure if the PH was an F or, the PH. So it is Fisher in the chat showing the love says, come on, man, I know. I should know better. I should know better than that. I know, brother. I should definitely know that. Here we go. Checkered flag is out. Matthew Wood cruises to a win as Virgil Perriman, Logan Perriman, Michael Durham Jr., Trent Johns, and Ryan Haller round out the field here for our first heat race of the evening. As we'll get ready now for heat race number 2. Drivers will load into the sim. They'll be looking for the win here. Again, another 25-lap heat race. These drivers, again, will have an opportunity to try to either move forward, fall backward, try to hang on to potentially a good starting spot here for our main feature event, as this will virtually set the outside line here for that feature event this afternoon. As Aiden Lucas, Aiden will start in the pole position here this evening. So for the 34 ride, starting in that pole spot, he will have the number 59, the Harley-Davidson machine of Chess Hamby, there to his outside. Starting in position number 3, it is that 98 ride of Jackson Branscombe. To his outside is the number 38 of Keegan Huey. Starting in position number 5, and the Dude Wipes number 51, it is Wyatt Mickelson here in heat race number 2. It's great heat right there for certain. As Martin says, I'm going with the number 34 and 10 ride. Hey, it's never a bad idea to go for the front row. I feel like you could probably throw in Branscombe in there. He was our first winner here of the Dirt Series, and the 98 ride, he's been kind of back and forth. He's shown a lot of good speed. I feel like he may be one of those drivers that could put on a good show for us here this afternoon and a fight towards the front for maybe this second heat race win. But for Aiden Lucas, Chess Hamby, they're going to look to try to keep him back there at bay and duke it out between each other here for this heat race win. As here we go. Down and out of corner number 4, green flag will fly. The 34 ride waiting for the white flag to come out right there. Still gets a good enough jump to clear the 59 ride down into corner number 1 and out of 2. Looks to lead us down the back straightaways. Here comes Branscombe down low. He's looking to get hooked up here. He's looking to battle for the top spot as you see Aiden a little squirrely out at corner number 4. And now here we go. Branscombe's going to go for the slide jump. Oh, baby, it's getting tight here at the front. Hamby will now look down to the inside as Branscombe does jump out in front. Aiden leads that first lap, but Branscombe from 3rd to 1st here in leads lap number 2. But it is tight racing here at the front of the field as Phil says 34 a bit to take off. Let's go Aiden. Aiden, I think he wanted to. Unfortunately, that little bit of looseness that we saw out of corner number 4 right there killed so much speed and momentum for him that it just allowed the 98 ride to jump up there. Now he's kind of boxed in. He can't really work to the back bumper of the 98. He's got the 59 down to his inside, and unfortunately for Aiden, Luke is kind of just stuck here in that second line right now. Now both drivers kind of push up the racetrack. Luckily enough for Aiden, able to keep his foot in the throttle, will clear that 59 machine of Jess Hamby. Hamby will slide back to third as here comes Keegan Huey. Here comes Wyatt Mickelson, but out in front, it's all Jackson Branscombe as Branscombe continues to lead the way. The 98 ride in a beautiful paint scheme here, a beautiful tribute paint scheme for that 98 ride. He's been sporting it the last few weeks out there as a family friend that got this family started in racing, riding on board with them. Ronnie Riddle inspiring that amazing paint scheme for Branscombe here, and now I know for Jackson, he's been trying to get this car, this ride up and into victory lane. He wants to show his family, his grandfather, that he's bringing Ronnie on board with him, and Ronnie is riding here this afternoon at the beautiful dirt track at Charlotte as the 98, the 201, looking to try to put himself up and into, a good starting spot here in this feature event. And if he can pull off the great run and the good start here to this heat race and keep that 34 back there at bay, Branscombe may have a good shot here to maybe battle with Matthew Wood for the feature win this afternoon. As Branscombe sees that 34 of Aiden Lucas reeling him in, though, the 34 Ryan going to take a peek down to the inside, going to check the temperature down there as he's going to try to find that pay dirt and see if he can roll that middle to bottom groove. Hope to try to work his way door to door with that 98 machine and try to steal the heat race lead back away from Jackson Branscombe. But Branscombe so far going to continue just to click these laps off. Now 11 laps down. 14 laps left to go here as Wyatt Mickelson starting to make some moves. He's able to work his way around Keegan Huey. Huey falls back into that fifth position. Wyatt Mickelson jumps up into position number 4 as Fisher says, fantastic racing in this heat. Yeah, some great racing, some great battling there. Tight racing early on. Obviously, only 5 drivers out there for the heat race. It's kind of opened things up. Things have gotten a little bit more spread out, a little bit more sporadic, so you can kind of have a little bit of extra room. This is a big, wide speedway that you can really find a different groove, find a different line, try to find that extra gear to put yourself into a good position here in this heat race, or even just try to figure something out for, the start of our feature event. As if this track continues to carry over and it kind of starts the same way, these drivers will get a good look and a good test here on what it will be like for this main feature event. As the 98 of Branscombe continuing to lead the way here this evening with only 10 laps left to go. It'll be 9 laps left here in heat race number 2. Down and out of corner number 4, but as you see, Aiden Lucas still sitting in second. It is Jess Hamby who's starting to reel him back in. Hamby working that inside lane is starting to cut into their lead, and he is there. He is in the battle and back into second. Jess Hamby, oh baby, where did he come from? He all of a sudden just found that inside lane, and he is making it work here in the dirt at Charlotte as he is trying to just stay right there in the mix in that fight. And now is there more door to door for position number 2? It's kind of boxing in again, that 34 ride of Aiden Lucas. If Aiden was kind of holding back or trying to be a little bit more patient here, waiting later in the heat race to make a move to try and take over this top spot, he's starting to lose that opportunity. 98 right, starting to move around, starting to see where these guys are finding that speed, starting to block that inside lane a little bit more and trying to just keep these guys off his back bumper. But man, Aiden is right there. Oh man, this is a great start to the feature, or to the heat race. Looks like it's going to be a great finish here this evening as well. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, if you guys are enjoying the action, man, make sure you hit that like button, make sure you hit that share button, and definitely hit that subscribe button here this evening. As again, Hamby right back into the battle for second. This is exactly what Jackson Branscombe wants to see as they make a little bit of contact down into corner number 4 with only 3 laps left to go. Branscombe, Lucas, Jess Hamby, 1, 2, and 3 out there on the speedway. Mickelson back in fourth, and Keegan Huey rounding out our top 5 is nice and easy back down across the line. They'll see the double sticks here. 2 laps left to go. As here we go, back down and into quarter number 3. Only a couple more opportunities for Aiden Lucas to try and steal this heat race win. As back down across the line, the white flag will be displayed. So final time around here in heat race number 2. The 34 is there. Does he size him up? A bit of a block down low. He's all over the back bumper, trying to get him loose. Aiden gets tight, washes up into the outside fence as Jackson Branscombe picks up the heat race win. Chess Hampy steals second. Lucas there in third. Mickelson and Keegan Huey will round out our top 5 here in this one. As Martin says, this is some good racing for my birthday. Some great racing, great drives here this evening for these competitors. As yeah, Hamby from nowhere. Let's go. Yeah, that was a heck of a show. Definitely a good block. I mean, anyone would probably pull that same trigger right there, block that inside lane. He knew that that slide job was going to be coming from the 34 line. You go to that middle or outside lane, he's throwing it, and you have that risk of him parking it on your nose or making that side, the door-to-door contact. So to be safe, to be smart about it, you throw that block, you keep him from using that inside lane, and it worked out perfectly for him. Sometimes you get dumped, sometimes it's exactly what you see. The driver that's in tow, that has that speed and momentum, that's hoping to try to throw that slide job, has to get onto the binders. And once he kind of get onto the brakes midway through a corner here in these late models, it tightens him up and you just shoot to the outside. And that's exactly what we saw for Aiden Lucas as he had to get onto the brakes to avoid wrecking the 98 ride. Got tight, washed up the racetrack, and that allowed the 59 of Hamby to steal position number 2 away from him. As Fisher says, you gotta block that lane. It's dirt track racing, and Robin is racing. Robin is racing for certain. And yeah, Bill says, why aren't you racing, Jordan? That is a great question, Jordan. Where the are you, brother? Why aren't you out here? Why aren't you battling with these guys? You should be right here in the mix, in the battle, and enjoying this amazing racing action. As Jordan Fisher hitting that subscribe button as well, becoming a brand new subscriber here on Peacemaker Gaming as well. I could have swore, Fish, you were already subscribed, but maybe it was just YouTube finally hitting that noti. I'm not too sure. Sometimes YouTube's a little delayed in that, and sometimes it doesn't give us that automatic notification. But we're happy that you hit that subscribe button, become part of the show here this evening in the comments section at least. As it says, I'm on vacation in Florida. Oh, brother, that sounds so nice. That sounds so nice. I don't know where you're from, Jordan. I don't know where exactly you're from, if you're if you're from a cold state or not, but for me, I'm up here in Canada, brother. I'm up here in Canada, and man, it is it's cold up here, man. It's cold, it's snowy, it's not very fun, and Florida sounds very, very nice after, already 2 months, 3 months. Okay, you're from Minnesota. Okay, well, hey, you know what? That's a good time to get out of there, obviously, with everything going on in Minnesota and, that state kind of falling apart right now. It's definitely a good time to get out of there for at least a vacation, but obviously getting out of that cold as well and enjoying some nice, summer weather and enjoying some sun there in Florida. As Jordan says, yeah, I thought I was already subbed, Peacemaker. My bad, dude. Love your broadcast. I appreciate that, brother. I appreciate that. You may have followed already on Facebook. That may have been where it is. Martin says Minnesota for you as well. Martin, you're from Minnie as well? Man, Minnie's been going through it, chat. Minnie's been going through it. I don't know about you guys, but it's been some craziness there. Yeah, so glad I'm not in Minnesota right now. That's awesome. You are too, Martin. Yeah, that's pretty cool. That's pretty neat. Obviously, small world, but, fairly small community. It's not like where the Burnt Peanut or Asmongold or any of those guys, man, or, any of the other big streamers when you look at the FaZe Boys or anyone. Obviously, we're not as big as those guys, so we don't have that huge reach, but cool to see, a couple Minnesotians here in the chat as we'll get ready for our A-Main feature event here in just a little bit, a warm-up session for these drivers to kind of get locked in and ready to rumble here for this A-Main feature event, so they'll get some opportunities to work on their race cars to try to figure things out. Obviously, one driver really trying to figure this racetrack out is this 23 ride of Ryan Haller. I'm not sure if Haller is running into a steering wheel issue or if he's ran these late models pretty good. I just don't know if he's figured out this racetrack or what may be the issue here for the 23 ride, but nonetheless, he's trying his best. He's trying to get it figured out. I don't know why he's whipping it into the corners. The cars, for the most part, will set themselves in there if you just stay on the throttle and drive it deeper in and kind of let the power of the race car kind of guide you around the outside. You don't really have to whip it in there. Sideways may look quick, but it definitely is not quick out there on the speedway. Jackson says, told you I would win it for you. Hey, well, you won the heat race for us, brother. You won the heat race for us. Now we got to see what you can do here in this feature event as 75-lap A-Main is electric. Yeah, going to be a lot of fun. Going to be very, very interesting. A lot of laps. Fuel may be interesting as well as, 75, we added fuel to the set so we can run more than 35, 40 laps A-Main. Yeah, that's perfect. Hey, that's awesome. We love to see it. We like to see, obviously, a little bit of a longer race here. I thought it was going to be 50 like we did at Kern, or what was scheduled for Kern, being Charlotte, 75, that's a long time, man. It's a lot of laps. It's a big racetrack. It's not super tiny or anything by any means. They can click the laps off in a quick hurry, but for how wide it is here, how much green flag laps we can roll, 75 laps just makes this very, very fun and very entertaining for us to really see who's going to be able to put themselves into the action here this afternoon for the checkered flag. As we're going to get a quick drink into us, we'll get ready to go green flag racing for the A-Main in just a few more moments as, 15-gallon tanks. 15 gallons. Is that the way they've always been? I thought they were 21-gallon tanks. Maybe I'm just thinking of like street stocks or something. I think street stocks are 22. Not even for late model. I thought for late models they were still 21 gallons. But nonetheless, you get 77, 80 max fuel laps expected. So obviously a lot of laps. Hopefully not a lot of caution flags where that kind of eats into that fuel mileage or anything else, especially if caution laps don't count. You definitely want to make sure that not a lot of yellows here this evening. As Goosey Lagoose says, is this a league? Yes, it is. It is a league. It is a league race here tonight as the Wheel-to-Wheel Racing League going to get ready to be set loose here in just a few more moments. Don't go anywhere. Make sure you hit the like button, hit that subscribe button, become part of the family here on Peacemaker Gaming, and we'll get right into the action here in just a few more moments. Stick with us as we'll get ready to rock and roll here in just a couple minutes.
Kick the back toe. When you're ready to jump again, your best goal. Engines roar, the dirt flies thick, steel beats rumble, tires grip slick, mud tattoos, the side panels raw, wheel to wheel, no room for a flaw. Throttle pin, hearts pound like bass, slide through the corner, a deadly embrace. Chasing that checkered, sweat stay dream. The track screams out of that midnight scheme.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, you came here for a show. Well, here you go, as we'll get ready to set these drivers loose for 75 laps of racing action here this evening from the beautiful dirt track at Charlotte, as we'll get ready to set them loose here in this one. And starting on the pole in the number 17 machine, it is Matthew Wood, who will start in the pole position. To his outside in the 98 ride, that is Jackson Branscombe, starting in position number 3. The 5 machine, it's Virgil Perriman. To his outside in the 59, that is Chess Hamby, as starting in position at number 5 in the 99 machine. That is the Red Oak Pub ride of Logan Perriman. To his outside in the 34, it is Wyatt Mickelson with the 119 of Michael Durham Jr., the 51 ride of Wyatt Mickelson, Keegan Huey, Trent Johns rounding out our top 10, and Ryan Haller starting back in the 11th position. As we get ready to set these drivers loose down through quarter 3, and out of 4, Wood will see the green flag fly as we end all the anticipation with our feature presentation. As quickly, the 17 ride with a great launch, great start, able to open up a bit of a gap here already between himself in that battle for second. But now, for a lot of these drivers, it's about patience. 75 laps, you don't want to tear up your equipment, you don't want to put too much stress on your tires too early where you potentially put yourself into a bad position late in this race. Now this track has been worked over, the crew has went to battle, they have kind of gotten this track kind of worked back in, and it's pretty tacky out there. So you want to take it easy, you want to not put up, too much of a fight early on where you get that wheel damage or you put yourself into a tough position like we just saw with the 119 ride. When you get tight together, when you start bouncing off each other, that's where you get this damage, and you start to work in damage on your own race car throughout this feature event. And for how this track can play out and how this race can play out, we could see this staying clean and green for quite a while, and that could really bring into the question mark here for a lot of these drivers. Will we see a caution flag if it stays clean and green with no yellows here throughout this feature event? You want to make sure you save a little bit left in this one. It's the 17 of Wood out in front, but Jackson Branscombe sticking right there with them, and early on looks like the 17 will get tight, washes up the racetrack, and Branscombe will take over the race lead here on lap number 6. So Wood able to lead the way for the first 5 laps with the 98 right now, jumps out in front and hoping to try and pull away from that 17 ride of Matthew Wood. But hopefully, if some of these drivers, if they're watching, if they're seeing what's going on right now, and they see how this race is maybe playing out, they got to work on that strategy a little bit. Tires are going to be potentially a winning move late in this race. You don't want to burn them up too early. 75 laps here at Charlotte is a long time. If you can kind of hang back a little bit, save a little bit, even though you may give up a few positions, it may be worth it in the long run, making sure you get that extra 10-15% for maybe a late race caution flag that could bring you right back into the battle with potentially better tires, makes it a better car. So for Branscombe, you got to wonder, now that you're out in front, you don't really want to pull too far away. Now you want to manage this gap you have between yourself and that 17 of Matthew Wood. You see Matthew, he's not too worried, he's not too concerned, kind of hanging back here in that second position. You look back at drivers like Aiden Lucas, who showed a ton of speed here. Honestly, he's kind of sunk back in the traffic, but he may be playing that same game, taking care of his equipment, taking care of those tires for late in this race. And the 34 knows that this race could go to him. It could go back to potentially, his way later on in the second half. As Fisher says, looked like Matthew lifted a bit there. He says, we finally get to see who can save tires. Yeah, that's going to be the big thing here in saving. It's not super tough when the track is this tacky, but it really gives you that full sense of go, go, go. It gives you that hope that, hey, you know what? The car is quick right now. It's feeling fine. But even though it's still tacky, you're still spinning. You're still, causing yourself that, tire wear and damage out there on your car. So you want to be nice and easy early on. Keep it as straight as possible. You don't want to get sideways. Sideways is not fast. It creates tire spin. And when you get that tire spin, that's what chews away at your rear tires. And that's exactly what you do not want to do early in a 75-lap feature event. As Branscombe out in front, almost 7/10 of a second here between himself and Matthew Wood. Now, if you watch Matthew and kind of see how he's rolling out there on the racetrack, entering a little bit wider, but he's trying to keep this car straight as possible, keeping it still in that pay dirt down low, not really testing that, middle to outside lane and not pushing it to a certain extent and not pushing too hard, where he's going to be burning up a lot of tires here throughout this, potentially first half of this feature event. But for the drivers that are a little farther back, these guys, they've been duking it out. They have been battling, and you start to see some of that damage arising for a couple of them. You look at that left front fender on that 5 ride of Virgil Perriman, and those are the issues that could lead in to additional problems later in the race. When you start to get that front end, tire damage here, you start to get some of that, whether it's, towed in, towed out, it just destroys your handling, makes that car a lot tighter, and in turn starts to burn up tires a lot more. And you see that even now with Virgil Perriman. You look back at that 119 ride, he's got that front left damage as well for Michael Durham Jr., and that's just going to affect your steering, it's going to affect the handling, and it's going to cause you problems farther down the line. So now, for I think these two, if you're Virgil or the 119 of Michael Durham Jr., you really just want to play it safe. You want to kind of tone it back here, not push too hard. Hope to see a caution flag where you can get an opportunity to come down pit road, get some changes, get that damage fixed, and get back out there. As Fisher says, that race for the last podium for third is going to be close. It's a battlefield behind Jackson and Matthew. It is a battlefield here, but we do see that caution flag fly as Aiden Lucas. Oh no, Aiden runs into some issues here. One of our front runners there in heat race number 2 going to run into some issues. He's going to slide up in front of the 5 ride of Virgil Perriman. Virgil's going to get underneath of him here. Looks like he's going to stay there, but then, it's the 119 who kind of gets underneath of him. Takes it 3 wide down into corner number 3. Oh, man, this is definitely just a bit of a late shot right here, but season opening. Tries to get a 2-for-1 deal. All of a sudden, that hole closes up. He's tight down low, trying to avoid that infield tractor tire. Kind of tail tanks the 5 ride. Little net code there as obviously Virgil and the 34 of Aiden Lucas come together. Aiden goes for a quick loop-de-loop here, and maybe a little contact there as well for the 51 ride of Wyatt Mickelson, but man, unfortunately, that will put us under our first caution flag of the day. Now, for how these guys have been running, how they've been battling out there, obviously we're already 22 laps into this feature event. You kind of don't want to push it here still. I think it's still too early. You don't want to really, unleash the beast here. If you are in that tire-saving mode, you kind of want to just hang on to it a little bit more here. You expect to maybe see another caution flag, sometime in the next, 20, 30 laps. You don't really want to, put all your eggs in a basket until a little bit later on. I think this is still too early for it to be go time. I think you still got to hold back and save a little bit here over the next little bit. And it's going to get easier here. We've already lost one driver, Keegan Huey, after 3.8 laps has taken his car back down behind pit wall and out of this race. So a heartbreaker there for Keegan Huey. I'm not sure if he ran into a connection issue or what may have happened there for the 38 run, but unfortunately no longer out there. As here we go, back to battle. Branscombe, good jump, good launch right there, as Huey in the chat says LHR not having a great night so far. Laugh out loud. Yeah, unfortunately, LHR, not the hot start that they were hoping for here this evening. Obviously, with Keegan now back behind pit wall, not a fun spot to be here after 20 laps of racing action. Here we go, Matthew Wood, slide jump there for the top spot. Great crossover by Jackson Branscombe. They're going to pay it back down through corner number 3 and 4, and it looks like for the 17 ride, he will jump back out in front, but, man, Branscombe not going to give it up easily, but they're going to continue to battle here. Branscombe gets a little bit tight, can't quite pull the trigger on the slide job down through 1 and 2, will fall back in line, and now I think for that number 98 ride, what he needs to do is kind of just hang on to it. Hang on to it, not really push the subject here. Try to make sure he keeps that 99 ride of Logan Perriman, the 28 of Trent Johns back there at bay. As you see Virgil Perriman still there in that 5th position. Jess Hamby, Michael Durham Jr. out there on the speedway is our top 7 right now. Now you do see the damage has been repaired here for Michael Durham Jr. So he went down pit road during that caution flag, got that damage repaired. He's back into good shape, but now needs to take care of that race car. Cannot run in to another big issue, get more damage here late in this race. It's 28 laps complete, be 29 this time by the start-finish line. As Fisher says, hopefully Aiden can carry LHR back to the front. Aiden has good speed. He has good speed, man, but these two at the front of the field are putting on a show. Between Branscombe and Wood, they're starting to slice and dice here a little bit at the front of the field. I think it's a little too early to put up too big of a fight right now, and I'm surprised that Matthew Wood is really kind of stuck in it and rolling a little bit more of that outside lane. Even with these late models, if you can stay with that inside groove and just keep the car as straight as possible, even if you fall back or you run slower, it's worth it to save those tires and to keep yourself in a good position. As you see another slide job right there behind him is Trent Johns. Just clears the 99 ride of Perriman. Perriman did get a little contact with the back bumper of that 28 ride, and now you do see them kind of continue to switch positions here at the 3rd and 4th spot on the racetrack. Back behind them, Virgil Perriman tried to hold on to 5th as Chess Hamby, Aiden Lucas, that 119 of Michael Durham Jr. duking it out here is Wyatt Mickelson back in 9th, and Ryan Haller rounding out our top 10. But it's all Branscombe and Wood here at the front of the field. We kind of figured it would be between these three, or even these two, but the 3 cars now with Trent Johns up and into 3rd. Looking to put on a show for us here as well. He's looking to join this fight at the front of the field. Took him a little bit longer to kind of work his way through that traffic. Obviously, there was a lot of door-to-door and back and forth there throughout that first run inside our top 5. And for the 28, finally able to kind of poke his way through that and work his way up here to 3rd. And now looking to try to jump up and into the battle for the race lead. Logan Perriman, you got to wonder about that contact and damage here to the front end of this 99 ride. Is that going to give him any wheel damage that could affect his car later on in this run? Is Chess Hamby able to work his way back around the 5 of Virgil Perriman? Perriman still yet to get that car repaired, but you see the 34 of Aiden Lucas working his way down to the inside here, and he will jump up into that 5th position. So for the LHR machine, jumps up inside the top 5, and now we will see a caution flag fly once again. So the caution flag will come back out. Looks like issues for the 23 of Ryan Haller. Let's take a look and see what happens. We've seen Haller dealing with this issue throughout the evening. I'm not sure just what it is or what's going on with the 23 ride here this evening. But again, going to send it in there and just sends it in sideways there and basically stopped in the middle of the racetrack. iRacing throws that caution flag as our race leaders were rolling into him there, and that will put us under the yellow again this evening as Haller's definitely struggled here this evening. The 23 ride has not looked very good, and it's going to be tough for him to try to battle his way back into it and try to keep this thing in a good position, as we do see looks like Logan Perriman and the number 51 of Wyatt Mickelson both coming down pit side, looking to get some damage repaired here. So Perriman, he saw that damage, obviously having some of that wheel damage he knew was affecting his race car to handling here this evening. Takes it down pit road, obviously for the Dude Wipes 51. Also down pit road trying to get that damage repaired as Jackson Branscombe and Matthew Wood will get ready here for another restart. After, 90 or 38 laps of racing action done here this evening, virtually halfway through this feature event here this evening as, man, this is going to be It's going to be a treat, chat. This is definitely going to be a treat this afternoon. And if you guys are enjoying the racing action and you haven't already, make sure you guys do us a favor. Hit that like button on the stream. Hit the share button. Hit that subscribe button. Become part of the Peacemaker family here today as we get ready to play. Once again, it's nice and easy down the back straightaway. The iRacing Pace Truck will make that hard left-hand turn back down pit road, and here we go, back to battle as Branscombe, our control car here on the restart, will get the jump here down in through corner 3 and 4, and there we go. He's able to use it to his advantage. Opens up a car length or two between himself and Matthew Wood. Back down into corner number 1 as Branscombe gets the launch he was looking for, and now they start to duke it out back behind him. Now he sees Matthew Wood trying to close that gap, trying to reel him in. They're door to door, down through 3 and out of 4. Back down across the line. Matthew still down to the inside, sends it in there deep, slides up in front of him. The 98 right looking to cross him over and pay it back. Down through corner 3 and 4, and that's exactly what he is going to do. Matthew, though, will look to try to cross back over and size him up again. So it is Slide Job City here at Charlotte, and these two out in front continue to put on a great show, continue to battle back and forth, but it's starting to bring in some of these other competitors. See that 28 ride of Trent Johns poking his nose right into the battle as the 98 going to try to pinch the 17 down low, hoping to not give him that slide job lane, but they are still door to door as there's a little bit of contact, and oh, look out, Perriman, Lucas tying together. Caution flag is back out. Caution flag is back out here again this afternoon. Looks like the 23 ride also still running into issues here for Ryan Haller. Now I believe Haller is going to probably loop it right here through 3 and 4. Now that's before the contact with Aiden and the 99 ride right here. There it is. Perriman just sends it in there a whole lot deeper, trying to run more of a slide job lane, and unfortunately sends it in there a little too deep and ends up just kind of T-boning that 34 ride of Aiden Lucas. Really nowhere for Aiden to go. Nothing he can do except for get contact there. Nowhere to go for Wyatt Mickelson. He ends up into it as well. Heavy front end damage here for all 3 drivers as they get pretty tore up. They'll be looking to head down pit road, get some heavy repairs, and try to hopefully work their way back into this race. But we do see Aiden still down pit side. Wyatt's down there as well. Same with Logan Perriman, and unfortunately looks like for Perriman and potentially the 51 of Mickelson and the 34 of Aiden Lucas, they may be down pit side here for an extended period of time here this evening. Is Anna, what's good, Anna? Anna in the chat showing the love here this evening. Says, what's up, Peacemaker? What's up, Anna? How are you? Hopefully you're having yourself a wonderful Sunday as Anna cheering on Haller and Matthew. As here we go, caution flag is about to be taken away. We'll get ready to go back to battle now. We do see the 34 of Aiden Lucas getting back out there. We're yet to see Wyatt Mickelson or Logan Perriman join the battle here, and unfortunately they may be at risk of losing a lap here this evening as Jackson Branscombe with another restart, nice and easy, back down and across the start finish line. They will complete lap number 43 here today. And oh no, looks like potentially a black flag here for the 5 right of Virgil Perriman as well. We'll have to wait and see if that gets clear or if he's going to run into some more issues. As look out, Haller getting tight there again after contact between him and the 5 right, and luckily enough both drivers able to keep pointing the right direction. They keep on battling, but out in front the heat is on. The battle is on here at the front of the field. Branscombe and Wood picking right up where they left off, duking it out here at the front of the field as Branscombe, Wood 1 and 2, Trent Johns sticking there in 3rd with Jess Hamby. Now into 4th with Michael Durham Jr. rounding out our top 5. Aiden Lucas there in 6th. He still sees quite a bit of damage there to the front end of that 34 ride as Logan Perriman and Ryan Haller round out our top 8. Unfortunately for Wyatt Mickelson and Logan Perriman, still with that heavy damage. Looked like they had already used their quick repairs up, and unfortunately looks like they are going to be down pit side here for an extended period of time here this evening, and that will pretty much take them out of contention here for tonight's checkered flag. As Wood continues to lead the way, we do see Haller running into some more issues. Now he's stuck on the infield tractor tires. He's turtled on there. He's trying to get it rolling. There it is. But unfortunately, that will bring the caution flag back out. So Haller Having some more problems here. He's had a rough go with the handling of this race car all night long. And again, gonna run into some more problems as the 23 sets it in there and just loses the rear end. Starts to go around. He's trying to keep his foot in the throttle. Finally, it slides right there onto one of those infield tractor tires. And now he's just trying to get it off there, hoping that the car can get rolling again. Luckily enough, it does, but not before the yellow flag is displayed, and that will give a couple of these drivers an opportunity to head down pit side to work on their race cars, and it's a busy pit road as here comes Haller, here comes the 34 ride as well of Aiden Lucas. Jess Hamby also down pit road. We still see Mickelson and Perriman down there as well, as we'll get them all stacked up, racked up, ready to go back to green flag racing. And it looks like Matthew Wood out in front, able to hang on to the race lead as Phil says, I don't think I've ever seen someone stuck on a tire like that. Oh man, I've seen it too many times, brother. I've seen that happen, especially here at Charlotte, man. Those tires, they tend to chew guys up, man. Especially as, you know, this race probably won't get too slick of a racetrack. You still see it's got a lot of tackiness into it. Obviously, with the track kind of resetting before the feature for these drivers, there's not a ton of cars out there. It may start to get a little slick, kind of right there, you know, through, corner entry, maybe a little bit on corner exit, but I think for the most part it's going to stay fairly tacky, especially towards that outside lane throughout the entire feature event here this evening. And for these drivers, though, when the track starts to get slicked off, when it starts to get a little bit more, risky, and you start to move more towards that high side or inside lane, that's where you start to see drivers clobbering those infield tractor tires. Is Matthew Wood. Great restart, great launch right there. Unfortunately for Trent Johns, oh no, issues here on the restart for Trent. He's up into the outside fence. Let's take a look back and see what happens. Is for Trent, this is going to set him back quite a bit. He tries to get rolling. Five Ride jumps down to his inside, and they just make contact, and it shoves him up into the outside fence. And you see Aiden Lucas also getting some contact into that as well. No caution flag. We keep it clean and green, but man, for Trent, parked there into that outside fence, probably some pretty solid, right side damage here to the 28 ride. But out in front, it's Matthew Wood who continues to hold on to the top spot here inside. 23 laps left to go here in this feature event. So we're down to virtually what is going to be a heat race finish here this evening, as we do see now Trent Johns has taken his car down pit side. Obviously, that right side damage going to prove difficult here for that 28 ride. Aiden Lucas has also taken his car down pit road and off the racetrack. It looks like Trent going to roll back out there, though. He's still going to join the fight here again, but unfortunately is at least a lap down, and we'll have to be careful not to lose another lap out there on the speedways. Matthew Wood, Jackson Branscombe, Virgil Perriman are top five. Chess Hamby, though, all over his back bumper. Hamby knows this could be the battle for that third and final podium position here this evening. And for the Harley-Davidson Motorcycles, number 59 ride, duking it out here with Virgil this afternoon for that third position. As Matthew Wood and Jackson Branscombe, they have set sail. They've opened up a sizable gap, not only between one another, but between themselves in that battle for that third position. As Branscombe about 1.3 seconds back of Matthew Wood, about 1.3 seconds ahead of Chess Hamby as he does complete that pass for third. Virgil Perriman will stay back in fourth. Michael Durham Jr. will round out our top five with Ryan Haller back in position number 6. But it's all Matthew Wood here in this one. Matthew Wood out in front as Fisher says it may not look slick, but I can imagine they are sliding a bit. Laugh out loud. A little bit of sliding, not much. This is not slick. This is not Charlotte slick yet. Normally we see this racetrack completely slicked up, and you get a thin line up on the high side, a thin line down on the bottom here. If we had 20, 30 cars out there for heat races and carryover, we might have gotten there, but even if we had 30 cars in this feature event, I think we might have been able to get there here here throughout the 75 laps. But without, the track carrying over and the very minimal race cars out there, it's not going to get as slick as we normally see Charlotte Motor Speedway here on the dirt side of things. And for Matthew Wood, that's great news. He got 15 laps left to go. There is still a lot of bite through the middle, down low, up on the high side. You've got areas to kind of move around. Now you just got to avoid the lap traffic. Hope not to see any more caution flags. You got a 2-second gap between yourself and Jackson Branscombe, and you're just hoping to kind of be on cruise control, set sail, and into the sunset here to steal another win away here in the Wheel-to-Wheel Racing League. But look out, Matthew! Oh, man. The 23 ride right there of Ryan Haller almost went around, and Jackson Branscombe almost had Ryan Haller sitting right in his lap down there through corner number 1 and 2. Luckily enough, able to hang on to it. But for Matthew Wood, that opens up even more of a lead here. Matthew now out to over 2.5 seconds and just run away with this one here, man. He's got no worries in the world except for a late race caution flag for that 17 ride as Jackson Branscombe sits in second. Seeing him get smaller and smaller out of the front windshield. And for Jess Hamby trying to reel that 98 right in, trying to catch up to Jackson Branscombe, wanting to work his way up and into second here and trying to steal that second position away late in this race. We'll have to keep a close eye on that one as Virgil Perriman back and forth. Michael Durham Jr. there in 5th. Ryan Haller in 6th, and Trent Johns rounding out our top 7. Aiden Lucas, Wyatt Mickelson, Logan Perriman, and Keegan Huey rounded out the field here this evening. But for Matthew Wood, he will put that number 28 another lap down, and for Trent Johns will fall 2 laps down out there on the racetrack as we inch closer and closer to our checkered flag. I believe it's only 8 laps left to go here this evening for Matthew to get it done here in this one. He just wants to see no caution flag, and with the 23 ride parked down in the infield right here, you gotta wonder if Haller rolls back out, will iRacing throw that caution flag as here comes Haller back out onto the racetrack. Had went around and gotten into the infield tractor tire. Luckily enough, no caution flag, but now damage on that 23 gonna make it tougher to control, and as it gets slicker, as that car gets more tore up, gonna potentially be a caution flag there with that 23 ride. So if you're Matthew Wood, you just gotta hope that he keeps it pointing in the right direction here. We got 5 laps left to go. Down across the line, he's got 3.5 seconds between himself and Jackson Branscombe. He's on cruise control. He's got no worry in the world except for a yellow. And for Wood, he is running away with it. Branscombe now going to have to try and keep that 59 right at Jess Hamby back there at base. Hamby has reeled up to him here. Less than half a second between second and third, but late in this race, it's one thing to catch him. It's another thing to work your way around him. And for Jess Hamby, maybe running out of time to try and steal position number 2 here this evening. But for Matthew Wood out in front, he's a man on a mission here this evening, and for the 17 ride, he's got virtually a straightaway between himself and that second-place driver. Got real tight there to one of those infield tractor tires down through 3 and 4. Has to make sure he does not make a mistake. You do not want to clip one of those tires, give yourself damage, or cause an issue yourself here, late in this race. It's nice and easy down through 3. And out of 4, the white flag will be displayed one more time around for Matthew Wood. 3 seconds, the gap between himself and Branscombe. He's on cruise control for the final time, down into 3. Nice and easy out on corner number 4, and it is Matthew Wood who will pick up the checkered flag here this evening. In the Wheel-to-Wheel Racing League from the dirt track at Charlotte, Matthew Wood gets it done and picks up the win, as Trent John's going to maybe show a little displeasure here after the checkered flag, as Trent, unfortunately, not the run he was hoping for there, not the restart he was hoping for, and now gives our race winner damage. So not going to be too much of a celebration here for Matthew Wood with that right front kind of hanging on here for good luck. I don't know what's going on there with that, but you may be able to do a couple donuts still for us here this afternoon. But it's Matthew Wood, Jackson Branscombe, Chance Hamby, our top three here this evening. A great race, another great show, and a heck of a performance here from these drivers, man. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up here to our race winner, Matthew Wood, as we'll get ready to pull him and the rest of our top three up and into the broadcast booth for their post-race interviews. As Fisher says, awesome race by Matthew. Martin says, congrats to Matthew. It's a great long 75-lap race. Good fun to watch. That's what it's all about. That right front wheel, yeah, that right front wheel. It's, I don't know if it's the salute to the fans in the stands or what's going on with it, but obviously it is pretty much dislocated itself. And what was that? We got haters. I don't know if it's haters or guys just having fun. A lot of times we see guys like to play a little bit of demolition derby, kind of after some of the hard racing action out there. So it happens. It's part of the part of the show, part of the experience here on the dirt side of things. We'll get ready to pull Matthew up and into the broadcast booth here for his post-race interview. And see if we can get the rest of our top three up here as well into the booth here this afternoon. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up here for Matthew Wood as Matthew will join us here in the booth. Hey Matthew, it's Aaron up here in the Peacemaker Broadcasting booth. Did you get a copy?
Yes, sir.
Matthew, man, another good run, another good race, man. Obviously a bit of a longer one here this evening, 75 laps here at the dirt track at Charlotte. And early on, we see, obviously, with that pole position, you lead a few laps early on, and then it seems like you kind of just, get into that rhythm. You see that we're not going to get a quick caution flag. You let that, 201 right of Branscombe go by. You settle into second there, just obviously try to save a little bit of tire, a little bit of your car here for later in this race, and it pays dividends as later on you're finally able to work your way back around Branscombe up and into that top spot after multiple laps battling there, slide jumps back and forth, and a good fight there for the top spot through the middle portion of this race. But after that final restart, you got the race lead and you just set sail here, and luckily enough, no late race caution flags, no opportunities for any late race moves for Branscombe, as you're able to just stick on cruise control and park yourself back up in victory lane. Man, take us back through it and what's going to go through, what's going through your mind here after a great feature event.
Well, you nailed it right on the head. I knew it was going to be about 70 laps, 75 laps, so a lot longer than I'm used to in road or this kind of racing. So I didn't want to go out the gate and try to just build a huge gap because I knew eventually there was probably going to be a yellow. And of course there was, so wanted to save my tire, but somehow I got front end damage. Apparently, Jackson was telling me that I had front end damage, which it felt like I had front end damage, and I had right rear damage from, I believe it was the first caution. I slowed down, and Logan didn't, and got in my right rear, and I thought I had damage, which it felt like I had a little bit, but I don't think it was that much to affect me. Yeah, I was just really saving tires until the end. I think I completely ran him down. Jackson was 2.5 tenths quicker the last 5 laps, so he was coming. But yeah, definitely a fun one. I can't wait for the Cup Series wheel to wheel to get back started. That'll be a fun one. I am gonna race that, so hopefully we'll have some new people, and I think we're truly building something special.
Yeah, absolutely. Something special. A lot of great drivers, a lot of great fun, and obviously as things kind of roll back into the real life NASCAR series and everything else, you guys are enjoying your time here on dirt. We got a couple races left to go here before we say goodbye to the dirt track series and right back into the asphalt stuff, man. And obviously a lot of drivers are going to be right there looking to battle with you and hoping to try to keep you out of victory lane as last season's champion for the inaugural season here at the Wheel to Wheel Racing League. What do you got in store? What's up your sleeve here? Do you got something planned? Have you been working, and getting that extra practice in, and not only on dirt, but also on the asphalt side of things as well?
Well, I've been working very, very hard, but not necessarily in the way that I have been, because I'm with Outlier Speedco now. I thank them every week, and they have the best setups on iRacing, and I'm in the full length challenge, which has some Coke Series drivers, has people like Cody B. Johnston, if you've ever seen him in officials. Very, very competitive league I have to qualify in, but I got accepted, just completed the first preseason race, and then come Daytona 500 week, McConey Setup Shop will be the one broadcasting it. So, truly a blessed opportunity for me. That's not going to affect here, of course. That's going to be on Saturday night, so it's not going to affect me here. So, and I didn't want it to, because I want to stay here with y'all and thank everybody that supports me in the chat every week and everybody that has supported me through all of this. We're glad to have you still, and you do an incredible job as always. We love you, and yeah, I just gotta thank the Lord for what He's done for me and for what He always will. And He's the Savior of the world, Savior of everybody that I know, and including you. Even if you don't feel like you're anything, you are. Um, it's never the answer to harm yourself. So don't never, it's never the answer. And if you needed to hear that, that's good. And if you didn't, well, remember that for another time.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Matthew, a heck of a run and a great drive here this evening as you park yourself back up and into victory lane, man. Obviously, we saw some contact after the checker flag there as well. Looked like Branscombe was coming to, congratulate you, and then Trent Johns got in there. Was that a little frustrations coming out late in this race, or was that just a little bit of post-race fun there?
No, just banter. I don't know why, but he came up there to congratulate me. Then all of a sudden, I see Trent come in there and at 200 mile an hour, and he was on top of me for a second. But no, we were just having fun.
Absolutely. Well, that's what it's all about right there, man. Having fun, enjoying your time here on the sim, and enjoying some great racing here in this series. Obviously, really no points or money or anything else on the line except for just having a good time and enjoying a bit of an off season before our NASCAR series gets kicked back underway here in about a month. So that's gonna be a lot of fun. We look forward to that. We look forward to seeing you guys back out here on the Speedway for a couple more of these dirt races and obviously next Sunday, right back up here, potentially back into victory lane for yourself.
Yes, sir. It's going to be a fun one. It always is a fun one with these guys, and we'll push on, and hopefully more opportunities come this year, and hopefully I can make somebody smile.
Absolutely, brother. That's what it's all about, man. Enjoy the rest of your night, and congratulations on the win here this evening.
God bless everybody.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up there for our race winner, Matthew Wood, as Matthew picks up the checkered flag here this evening. We'll get ready now to pull in our second place finisher. It is Jackson Branscombe. Let's get that beautiful 98-201 right, whichever number he kind of goes by there for it. But Jackson comes home in second. Let's get him up here into the booth. Hey, Jackson, it's Aaron up here in the Peacemaker Broadcasting booth. Did you get a copy?
Yes, sir.
Jackson, man, another strong run, another great race here for you this afternoon. Obviously, jumping up there, winning that heat race, and then you go to battle here pretty much all afternoon long, duking it out with Matthew Wood here for this feature event. And I'm not sure if maybe he was just saving a little bit more than you were. I'm not sure if you were trying to save there, early on as much as he was as you bound your way up to that race lead. And he kind of just took a back seat there in second for a while. It allowed you to maybe burn up your stuff a little bit more, which allowed him to kind of pull away there after that final caution flag and final restart.
Yeah, that track was really tricky. Like towards first half and middle, I knew where to run at and stuff. I think I got a little too excited, kept the foot down a little bit, but I mean, it's just one of those deals. I mean, you can't get better racing than that. I mean, that's I'm happy taking second, as long as I get a finish like that or a run like that, I'm fine with that. It was a good battle.
Yeah, great battling, great fun out there. Obviously, we saw you and Matthew kind of duking it out there throughout that middle portion. Bunch of slide jumps, crossovers, having some good fun out there on the Speedway band. Take us back through that battle there, and you guys kind of duking it out for that top spot for the middle portion of this race.
Yeah, I mean, I saw him. Sometimes he'd get a run. I tried to just go down there and protect the slider, block it. But I mean, sometimes it doesn't work like that. Sometimes you get a good run coming through that bottom. I mean, nothing you can really do there, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. Sometimes you just can't get down quick enough, or you just don't quite have that drive on corner exit to be able to kind of really block that, slide job lane, and it ends up being just a good battle there. Obviously, good, hard, respectful racing. No contact, just a lot of good back and forth between the two of you, and late in this race, I know you want to see that late race caution flag to try to go
Yeah.
after him again. Unfortunately,
Yeah.
just never got that opportunity. No late race cautions to bring the 17 back to your front bumper.
Yeah, when I really did when I was up front, I really did want to caution. I thought I had a good lead going and being pretty consistent with it. Sometimes those first half cautions they're just killing me, and I wasn't ready for Matthew to start it and turn through. That little got me unprepared there.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, just a good launch, good control. That's a good veteran dirt track move right there, getting that jump and being able to use that to kind of open up a bit of a lead down to corner number one and set sail from the field. And unfortunately for yourself, you got to settle in for second, but luckily enough, you're able to hold off Chess Hamby and the rest of the field and park that beautiful 98 ride back up here on the podium, man. Who'd you like to thank for another great run here this evening?
First of all, I'd like to thank Jesus Christ, our Lord and Savior. I'd like to thank my uncle Dusty, Grandpa Lee, Virgil Perriman, Logan Perriman, Trent Johns, Michael Durham. Ponder ain't here now, but I'd like to thank him too. We're pretty good buddies, and we always have fun when we do series like this. And I'd like to thank you for broadcasting this. You do a wonderful job.
Absolutely, brother. Well, it's always my pleasure to be up here in the booth and watch you guys duke it out there on the Speedway. Jackson, congrats on a great run, great drive here this evening, man. We look forward to seeing you back out there on the racetrack
Yep.
next Sunday.
And a little teaser, might see the 98 in the victory lane at Eldora. That's all I got to say right there.
Beauty. Hey, we look forward to it, brother. We look forward to it.
Yes,
Hope
sir.
to see you back up there in victory
Oh
lane.
yeah. Thank you.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, here we go. You heard it first. Looks like Jackson Branscombe calling his shot here, pulling a little bit of Babe Ruth and saying that, he's got something in store for us next Sunday night at Eldora Speedway. So we'll have to wait and see if he can, make that claim and claim his stake here this afternoon and call his own shot and put himself up and into victory lane. But here tonight, he has to settle in for a second place finish as we'll get ready now to pull in our third place finisher, the number 59 of Chess Hamby. Hey, Chess, it's Aaron up here in the Peacemaker Broadcasting booth to get a copy.
Hey, good. How you doing?
Not too bad, Chess, man. A heck of a run, heck of a drive for you here this evening as the 59 ride looked really, really strong here throughout not only the heat race, but here throughout that feature event as well. A lot of battles out there, a lot of back and forth, and late in this one, showing some pretty good speed. You were able to work your way up there and kind of put the pressure on Branscombe for that second spot. Unfortunately, just couldn't quite get to him there, and then obviously he was able to start to pull away in those closing laps. But you put on a heck of a show for us here this evening. A lot of tight battles out there on the racetrack.
Yeah, I appreciate it. That was a fun night. Track was real racy, so was able to make some moves and come through the field a couple of times. But that was a good night.
Yeah, always a good night when you're able to come home with a fairly clean race car, not too much damage, didn't really get tore up too many times out there, and able to just kind of have a good time and some good fun here with a bunch of good, great, fun drivers.
Oh yeah, that's the biggest thing. When you can race door to door and not have to worry about somebody running over the top of you. That's a lot of fun. We were close a couple of times. Took some contact. Had to go in and do a quick repair. So I tried to save it till later in the race. Just save my stuff. And once I took the damage, I just started conserving tires. So when I got the damage fixed late in the race, it felt like a brand new car.
Yeah, absolutely. And late in it, looked like a brand new car. Tight battle there to get around Virgil Perriman for that fourth or third position, and then battling up there to that 98 ride. But unfortunately, come up just a little bit shy here of a second place finish, needing that maybe late race caution flag to really get yourself back into the battle here for second or potentially the win. But a great show for yourself this afternoon as you park the 59 up and on the podium. Jess, who'd you like to thank for a great run and strong performance?
Just don't have any sponsors, so don't have too many people to thank. But glad to be able to do this with you guys.
Yeah, absolutely. And we're thankful to have you out there on the racetrack having some fun and enjoying your Sunday nights here with the Wheel to Wheel Racing League. And we hope to see you back out there again next Sunday night from Eldora Speedway, and hopefully see you right back up here in the broadcast booth, maybe a couple spots better and in victory lane yourself.
All right, man. I appreciate it. Thank you, guys.
Absolutely. Enjoy the rest of your night.
Have a good one.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up there for our third place finisher, Chess Ambius. Chess comes home in position number 3 here this evening. Heck of a run, heck of a race, heck of a show by these drivers here this evening, man. Give a round of applause to all of them. Make sure you guys jump into the comment section. Let us know what you thought of the broadcast. Make sure y'all hit the like button. Make sure you guys hit that subscribe button, become part of the Peacemaker family here today, and we will see you guys back here in the broadcast booth tomorrow night. We'll be back in action. We'll be back to duking it out here with the Metalheads Truck Series tomorrow night for what is going to be a lot of fun. We're actually heading back to the dirt track tomorrow evening in the Truck Series, so it is going to be a lot of fun to see the NASCAR trucks back on the dirt at Knoxville Raceway for what is going to be a very exciting, very fun night of action here on Peacemaker Gaming. So hopefully we see you guys all there and enjoying some more great racing here on Peacemaker Gaming. But thank y'all for watching. Thank y'all for tuning in, and we'll see y'all back here in the next one, man. Peace and love, ladies and gentlemen. Peace and love.
Kick the metal! When you're ready to jump again, your best